The thing is that comparison, when we compare and ourselves to others, when we compete, when we feel the need to do that, when we judge, is always looking for self-validation.
Mhm.
And that comes from a place where you are not sure of yourself. When you don't know who you are, what you're doing, why are you doing it? And it's a pretty, natural and common human condition. But I think that we, the three of us, each of us in our own way, are bringing into our what we do the opposite to that. So the only validation that is the one you give yourself. Is the growth you give yourself. The only comparison I actually do is the one to my past self. How can I be better than I was yesterday on my own thing? And when you live your truth that way, the differences between you and other people are only relevant when they feed you, when they actually help you connect with the diversity of that the universe is, that the world is about. But it's not to judge. It has nothing to do with polarity, you being better or worse. It's all about being different and bringing something to the table.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And I, just based on my own experience in the last few months, where I wasn't even aware of some of those internal conversation of comparison and competition, I notice the sensory cue in my body. So I might be in conversation with someone, and I notice an irritability, or I notice something inside of me that then afterwards I go, oh, I was judging. This whole notion of non-judgment. I had to come to a place inside myself where I went, I do judge. As I judge myself, I judge another. And I know as soon as I'm in that judgment, I'm in comparison and competition. And it's to remind myself, right, here it is again. And am I just willing to relax into and own it and know this is about me feeling unworthy about myself.
Right.
Right. And that's it. It's just like years ago I saw a girlfriend that I hadn't seen in years, and I went, oh my God, you look fantastic. Like, she looked amazing. And she looked at me, she turned around, she goes, Lisa, come on, that's about you. Are you willing to see how fantastic you are and how fantastic you look? Right. And it was like, right, well, we see the aspects. And I had a conversation with a girlfriend last night when I got back, and we were talking about Trump. And I said, for me, I have to own the aspect that he is of me. Right. I can't have compassion for another unless I'm willing to own that's me. Under the right circumstances, that could be me. Under whatever lifetime I've lived over the centuries of all time is now, that could be me. That is me.
That is us.
Right? That is us. And I think that notion of comparison and competitiveness and unworthiness really does come from that. And it's a constant reminder to ourselves that, ooh, all that you two beautiful, majestic, fantastic forces that I have brought into my life are aspects of me. And when I choose to celebrate you, I am celebrating myself. Right.
Cheers to that.
Exactly.
Yes.
But it is that, and that's where it gets into that path of healing, of spirituality, of religion. It's this. So the book that Yasmilde was just chatting about and telling me that she had picked up is, I had offered it to her as, it's called the book of magic, or the history of magic, excuse me. But he talks around this triple. It's called the triple helix. He takes science, religion, and magic, which ultimately comes to this form of really spirituality, because it's just, how does our spirit shine, right? How do we look at the way anybody else looks at anything? That's their choice, right? That's how they've been brought up. Those things worked for different cultures, different societies, all these branches off. We can't deny it. There's 8 billion people in the world almost, right? But it is. And when you talk about, because I always look at it from that, we're mirroring all the time, right? So your girlfriend who would have said, oh my God, you look fabulous. I do that all the time to people, and I forget so many times, right? But it's when we truly honor, it's like, God, that is me. And I know we talked about it, I think in one of the calls that we had recorded about, I do it with nature so instantaneously, right? Always have, when I'm outside, any tree, any flower, any food, any squirrel, it doesn't matter. It's to bring it into that human element, because when I could shift that and continue to, because again, the judgment will come up, and that's just the time to say, what is that, right? What is that I get to work on? Right?
Exactly. Exactly. And I was going to say that it's like when we have, because I do also at times, that voice, that take sides, that judge and have a critical thought about yourself or somebody else, with a comparison spirit in it. It's just to recognize that that's our human, and I don't like calling it ego. Ego has a negative connotation, but it's our human. It's our opportunity to then observe that and grow from it. Find out what is it, what's the trigger, what is this bringing back, that way to look at myself. Where did I pick it up? Where am I storing it? And how can I replace it? Right? And get rid of it. And it comes in very, very many shapes, ways, and forms. It's very pervasive, this kind of thing, where we have the thoughts of not being enough. And so we find it in many layers of ourselves, many situations and circumstances. So it's not to reject it. It's actually taking the opportunity to learn from it, transform a little bit more, right? Because of it. It's your cue. Okay.
Yeah. We just want it gone right away, right? Back to that. Where's the pill? Is there a pill for that? Right? Well, yeah, pill. You're the placebo, right?
Yeah. And I think, that whole notion of being like non-judgmental, right? It is that knowing I am judgment. I'm human.
Yeah.
I'm going to have judgments.
Yeah.
And the judgments are my invitations to go beyond that, right? In that moment, to go beyond that judgment in that moment, because I know it's going to come up again some other form, some other way, at some other time, just like competition will come up in some other form, in some other way, in some other time. I'm human. I'm never going to be without it.
Yeah.
And it's just noticing when it does present, I become aware of it, and I can go, oh, look at that. And last night in the conversation, the reveal, which is to reveal, oh, I held this judgment about you. It was like that one time I chose to reveal to my very dear friends, I didn't trust them. Right? I knew that these women had my back, and some part of me didn't trust them. And that was massive for me. But as soon as I revealed it, it got to be dissipated. And I didn't have to carry that anymore.
but
Yeah.
then but still replace it with the reveal, which is okay, that's okay, right? Yeah,
Right.
it is.
Right.
I think the hardest thing is when it's I'm going to use the vulnerable space, but you see it in people that you sometimes, this is my judgment, where I go to somebody, and I'll use a sister because it's often easier, right? With a sibling, that it's like, and I just went through the circumstance, but I'm in a totally great position that I feel it's good. But it's like when you want to say something and come across, right, and not know how to reveal it for the sheer fact that it might, if you're holding on to, okay, that's how they used to think, or that's how you used to feel, because it is us, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, that's when it's like, I want to say this thing, but then is that me just holding on to it, right? But I think sometimes, and I want to use siblings as the point, because you do have these bickers, I'll use bickering, right? And it's like, okay, but we're both doing it. So then we both have it. So what is where does that invitation extend to say, okay, do I apologize for like 9 years ago? I know how to come to terms in the alchemy point, but it's like, sometimes it's like, God, I really hope they're not holding on to that thing anymore. That was so frivolous and so,
Right. But here's the thing, right? We can't, we're not inside of each other's bodies. So as much as you might let go of something, or I might let go of something, let's say I let go of it, but you don't, right? There's nothing I can do about that other than be okay with, you're not yet ready to let go of it.
Yeah. And I've come to huge terms on that. Absolutely. And so one of my sisters, I was telling.
But I think this is also tapping into something much, much, much complex than this, which is that people opinions, people behaviors around us and about us are also a mirror of something you're thinking about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There is a judgment there too. There is energy you bring into the interaction that has to do with that. And as it works in the negative, in the sense of, if I still have that doubt, that guilt, that shame inside of me, I will see it reflected. I will see the justification brought about to me by people around me.
Yeah.
So that works. But it also that works. But it also works when you forgive yourself, when you let go of your guilt, when you heal, when you replace all that with love and understanding, first and foremost for yourself and then for the other person. You also bring that into the interactions. And because of that, I think this judgmental and critical nature of us does evolve.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it might not disappear, but it definitely changes, transforms. Because I have had many, many situations where I had realized the opposite. I had been in a place where I feel genuine love and appreciation for a person. And I notice, oh my God, this is new. I might have not felt this way before. This is the kind of situation where a couple of years ago I could have reacted in a negative way, and that is not happening now. So that happens too when you attract those kind of things, when you actually, and this was something beautiful that happened to me last year at some point. last year at some point. I was in a coaching environment. There were a lot of people that were using the same thing, or the same, let's say, career that I'm at. Everybody on their own specialty and stuff, but we were all working towards getting better at what we were doing. And I was taken aback by the intensity of the happiness I was feeling when anybody else involved in the thing had a win,
Mm-hmm.
had um, an evolution or a transformation or an aha moment. And that is definitely spiritual development. That is definitely related with you evolving to better. And so, yes, it doesn't disappear, but it does evolve.
Yes.
We do get better. You do connect with those sentiments and feelings of gratefulness, and see brilliance in everybody everywhere, and something that fits you, that brings you up as well, and extremely rewarding and beautiful. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's growth, right? That's change. That's
And ladies, I love you to death, but
oh my God, I was just having the exact same thought. I thought, okay, when we finish that thought, I have to tell you too how much I so appreciate.
Yeah, no,
and I'm so grateful that I have created you on my holodeck, and that we have, and always knowing there was an energy there, and then wow, look at this.
I know, wow.
But the thing is, because we know that it's energy, we know that, right? We're entangled. We're all entangled wherever. It's just saying, oh, as we clear and come to that essence of who we are, that's who will continue to want to be around, right? Yeah. We don't want to be around people that don't, whether they get us, but they don't get it. Get the big us, right?
Well, it's that energizing. I'm noticing more and more those people that I'm around, where when I leave the conversation, I feel energized and uplifted.
Yes.
And when I'm in conversations and I'm feeling tired, right? I know those are not the conversations that I need to be in. And how quickly now I'm willing to release that.
Yeah.
Right. And really concentrate my efforts on the spaces and places and people that I know where we're moving in the same direction, and we're moving within, we're not doing the same things, but we have the same mission or intention.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Us if you need any of us. You're not supposed to.
Love you, ladies. As busy as I am and overwhelmed by everything happening, this was a great thing to have in my morning.
Yeah.